feel free to pick at your body lice, if that makes you enjoy the story more. And yeah, this is called squirrel hunting, and this is told in a 5-year-old voice. So maybe it remind you of when you were a yellow chick or something, or an egg. So yes, this is 5-year-old Scott. I have squirrels that live in the hickory nut tree forest in my backyard. They live there because they like to eat hickory nuts. I want to catch one so he can be my pet. My sister has an old hamster cage that she doesn't need anymore, so when I finally catch one, I'm going to keep it in my room. Squirrels make great pets because they're bigger than a hamster, but they're smaller than a dog. My mom won't let me have a dog, but she let my sister Heidi have a hamster, and I'm 1 year older than her, so I think she'll let me keep a squirrel when I catch one. Catching squirrels is easy because squirrels love nuts. All I have to do is lay a trail of hickory nuts on my lawn, and when a squirrel sees the nuts in my yard, he's going to want all of them. And at the end of the trail, I place a big pile of nuts under a shoebox held up with a stick from one of the trees. And what the squirrel doesn't know is that I've secretly tied one of my dad's fishing lines to the stick, and I'm holding the other end. I got the idea from a cartoon. When the squirrels see the nuts in my yard, he's going to want to stop and collect them for dinner. And when he gets to the shoebox, he'll stop underneath it because he'll have enough food for a week, and he'll celebrate by eating from the pile. And while he's eating the nuts under the box, I'll pull a stick, and the squirrel's trapped. I know a lot about squirrels because we have millions of them in my yard. You know what? You want to know something else interesting about squirrels, onions, that a lot of people and chickens don't know? They also like zucchini squash. They eat a lot of the zucchini in my dad's garden, and he gets really angry. He doesn't like squirrels as much as I do. I could probably catch squirrels with zucchinis, but I don't think my dad would let me keep it if he found out how I caught it while using his garden as bait. I usually go squirrel hunting with my next door neighbor, Scott Hamburger. He's 1 year older than me, but we're in the same grade at school. You need a partner, onions, when you're hunting squirrels, because you need someone else to lift the box while you grab the squirrel. Squirrels aren't as smart as rabbits, but they can escape from a shoebox if you try to hunt them by yourself. Yesterday after school, Scott and I went squirrel hunting in my yard, and we gathered up all the nuts, so they had to follow our trail. And then we set the trap, and we hid behind the bushes with the line and waited for the squirrels to take the bait. The first squirrel that tried to take one of the nuts, he was skinny, brown one with no fur in its tail, and I didn't want one with a rat tail. I want a squirrel with a bushy tail. The first squirrel ate his nut and ran in the woods, and Scott and I agreed that he wouldn't make a good pet anyway because it was stupid and ugly. And I want a squirrel that girls want to pet. So it was a while before another squirrel came to my trap, and that one took a nut and ran off into the woods. It was starting to get late, and we weren't catching anything, and Woody Woodpecker was starting in 15 minutes. And if we didn't catch a squirrel soon, we'd have to wait till Wednesday because Scott has piano lessons on Tuesdays. And I didn't know why my plan wasn't working. It works on TV, and I know that squirrels love nuts. They're either scared or they're stupid. I don't know, but they're neat looking, and I want a pet squirrel before someone else in my class gets one. I talked to Scott into waiting for one more squirrel, and if we didn't catch it, we'd go inside and watch cartoons. The last squirrel was the best one. It was gray with a little orange on its belly and his back legs, and he had a little black nose and big eyes and gray hands and big bushy tail. He was about 5 or 6 nuts away from the box, and I knew if he didn't go in the box, I wouldn't catch a squirrel. And, he wasn't that far from me, and I figured I could run out and catch him. So I told Scott I was faster than a squirrel, and he said I was full of it. So I ran out after the squirrel, and he knew right away I was running after him because Scott ran behind me screaming airplane sounds. So he dropped his nut and ran, but he didn't run towards the woods, onion. He ran towards the front yard where the trees were smaller, so I knew I was finally going to catch me a pet. I was hoping he'd run up the small pine tree where the robins used to live, but he ran across the street. Those guys are a lot faster than you think, onions. I chased it in my neighbor's yard, and it ran up a pine tree in front of their house. And even though it was my neighbor's yard, I couldn't give up now because I was so close, and I'm good at climbing pine trees. So I went up after him. I like climbing pine trees because I like the smell of sap, even though it's hard to get off your hands and they get really dirty. But I could see the branches above me as I climbed up. And, the skinny point wasn't that high, so I could see the squirrel real close, and he had nowhere to go but down to me. And I got to the final branch, and I got a real close-up view of his face, and it was huge. He was so cute, like a chipmunk. And when I reached for him, his face it turned angry, and he attacked me, and he tried to bite me. and I screamed, "Ah!" and I fell out of the tree. Squirrels have pointy teeth, Onions. I banged my chest on a branch and I got scraped all over by the bark. Then I kind of grabbed a branch with my arm and fell onto the ground and landed on my feet so hard that it knocked me over, and my mom had to drive me to the doctors because I had a sprained ankle. That's why I'm on crutches. I don't have to catch a squirrel anymore, Onions, because my mom told me at the hospital that I can have a dog if I promise to take care of it and stop trying to bring home nature animals. If you ever want to go squirrel hunting, though, chicken, I can help you. It's really easy. Make sure you have a lot of nuts and don't chase them up trees. Thank you, Onions. I think he's a boy.